Warning, as underfunding has led to policing deserts. You don't say. Everybody knew this. Hasn't there not been a single burglary solved in England in the last 2 years? Literally not a single one, to the point where every single police force is getting investigated now. Like, yeah, things are terrible out there. A lack of investment in Police Scotland has led to large areas of the country becoming policing deserts, officers have warned. The chair of the Scottish Police Federation, which represents rank and file officers, has warned Justice Secretary Angela Constance that station closures and stress on serving officers have left areas with an almost invisible policing presence, providing an utterly reactive service. David Threadgold's comments came on the first day of the SPF's conference at the Trump Turnberry Resort. The budget for policing in Scotland is 2020. I think that's meant to be in 2024-25, is £1.5 billion, and ministers have previously defended increased spending and a move to increase officer numbers. Mr Threadgold's speech at the conference was delivered directly to the Justice Secretary. He said Police Scotland had 17,496 officers when created in 2013, but this had dropped to below 16,000 after a recruitment freeze between September 2023 and March 2024. Now that won't just be retirements, right? There's going to be a lot of people that have quit the force. I wonder why. I actually talked to a few ex-bobbies. It's just things are not good. He said this had led to fewer officers facing increased demand, and had created record absence through physical and mental health, illness, challenges with recruitment, retention, and job satisfaction. And that's from what I'm hearing for the guy. Yeah, it's just terrible. Everything's all woke bullshit. You think, oh, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to catch paedophiles and murderers and rapists and all the really, really bad people. No, you're not. You're going to be going to someone's door to talk to their fucking 13-year-old son about a post he made on Facebook that someone in school thought could have been a hate crime. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Mr Threadgold's numbers are disputed by Police Scotland, which puts the current number serving at 16,631. Oh, he was only off by 600. He also says the move to a more reactive service was an inevitable consequence and warned of a bleak future for the force. Changes to pension regulations, a crisis where over 3,700, almost one quarter of serving police officers in Scotland, can retire in the next 4 years, creates risk now and in the future, he said. So, how does the organisation mitigate the potential loss of not just officer numbers, but the experience, rank, and corporate knowledge that will go with them? And why is no one asking why? Now, you would think, like, I'm going to say, like, being a police officer is not an easy job, right? Because most of the time you're dealing with just inane, absolute crap bullshit like paperwork and all the little silly things. And I've seen what police officers have to deal with, and yeah, it's not fun. And then the other half is you seeing some shit. Seeing some shit that just like changes your fucking outlook on the world, right? Just police officers have experienced very, very many black pill moments, right? And I don't envy it, right? So I'm and also the pay shit. Yeah, police officer pay, pensions and benefits and stuff like that. The hours, they're shit. They're fucking terrible. Like, see when you go, oh, I've got an 8 hour. It's not an 8 hour shift. It's not an 8 hour shift. You go home when you're done, right? Did you catch someone? Oh well, tough titty. Like, you need to sit there in the prison cell holding him for ages. He's not cooperating. You need to do all his paperwork. You need to do all that. There's no wonder that a lot of them fucking quit. Mr. Threadgold continued, since its inception in 2013, Police Scotland has closed over 140 police stations across our country. That is absolutely true. I know a guy that actually bought an old one. I've still got the cells in it and everything. He's bought it and he's doing it up. I'll need to check in on him actually to see what progress he's made. 3 in the east of Scotland in the last month, with many more across the communities of Scotland in the pipeline. Chronic underinvestment in policing, and in particular the police estate, has resulted in a situation where large areas of our country have become policing deserts, with an almost invisible policing presence providing an utterly reactive service. He added that underinvestment in the police estate was creating problems. A recent SPF deep dive shows that some of our colleagues are still 12 years into the creation of Police Scotland, working in terrible conditions, unfit and unacceptable for a modern 21st century service, he said directly to Angela Constance. The difference between the haves and the have-nots across the policing estate is frankly unacceptable, and for that your government should be ashamed. Responding to the comments, the Justice Secretary said, "We are investing a record £1.62 billion for policing in 2025 to 26, an increase of £70 million on 2024 to 25. And Police Scotland is taking on the highest number of recruits since 2013, with the Chief Constable stating that 123 new probationary constables took their oath of office this month, maintaining their officer establishment at 16,631. So the number of officers has remained exactly the same. And they're like, oh no, we're giving more money. Yeah, you gave loads and loads of money back then, and the problem is still happening. So the problem's not the money. It's probably being wasted somewhere. Remember how like the Doge department are finding loads and loads of money being wasted all over the place? I think it's time for a little bit of an audit to find out where the fuck that money's going, because it doesn't seem to be going back into policing. Scottish police officers have consistently been the best paid in the UK at the minimum and maximum of each rank. Constance added, "We welcome the outcome of the recent arbitration process, which means that police officers in Scotland will receive an uplift of 4.75% backdated to 1st April 2024 in their March salaries, recognising the hard work and valuable contribution that police officers make. Recruitment and deployment are operational matters for the Chief Constable, who has the flexibility to develop her workforce to best keep our community safe," she added. Scottish Conservative Justice spokesman Liam Kerr, MSP, said the remarks showed the devastating impact SNP cuts are having on frontline policing. Too far, too long, dedicated officers have been expected to do their job with one hand tied behind their backs, leaving communities up and down Scotland at the mercy of criminals, he said. Not just any criminals. They're not native. I grew up in areas like this. And yeah, you had your local mental family. Everywhere did. But the time that things got really, really bad is when a foreign mental family moved in. That's when things started to become a pretty severe problem. The recruitment and retention crisis facing the force is entirely the SNP's own making, as they have ignored warnings from the police about the impact of falling officer numbers is having on tackling rising levels of crime. He added, "SNP ministers must accept that policing our communities cannot simply be relying on the goodwill of officers. They should show some common sense by finally providing Police Scotland with the funding they need to keep communities safe." Now, another thing that will definitely be causing that is the end of the article. One thing that will definitely be causing a problem with this is things like the hate crime bill and the fact that literally everything is a microaggression and has to be put on your non-crime hate incident report and stuff like that. So basically, police are bogged down with crap like that, and they are being told by the higher ups that that is the type of stuff that they need to focus on, because the police are going full woke with their gay LGBT LMNOP cars and stuff like that, and walking around with their faces painted at pride instead of, catching rapists and murderers, the thing that they're supposed to fucking do. Right, it's not a matter of money. And numbers, yeah, it probably is a little bit attributed to numbers, but it's the fact is, what does the average police officer spend most of their time doing? That is the question that you should be asking. What does the average police officer spend most of their time doing? And I bet you it's not fighting crime. I bet you it's dumb gay paperwork shit. Or they're going to visit, or they're referring some fucking 15-year-old to Prevent because he posted a Pepe meme or something like that. You're wasting your time on crap like that. By the way, people that get referred to Prevent come out so much more radicalised. They immediately see that as the state being directly against them, so they think they're in the right about something. But anyway, right, the question that you should be asking is, what do your officers spend the most amount of time doing? And then start from there.